Hi everyone, welcome back to the StudyTube project. I'm Laur and I'm currently a year 13 media production student, and in September I'm going to be going to university to study digital media. For today's video, I wanted to share something that I've taught myself over the past year and I've really developed a passion for. I'm obviously not a professional and I definitely still have a lot to learn in this field. I thought I would make this video a mix between a lesson and also a create with me / how to animate. But I hope that you really enjoy it and that it is helpful in some way. I've split it into sections, the lesson, the process and the outcome, so that you can find your way around the video pretty easily if you want to come back to this in the future. I really hope you enjoy it and that it motivates you to try something new, step out of your comfort zone, try animation. It is so much fun. So yeah, let's go. I'm going to start this video by going over the 5 main types of animation so that you're aware of the different types of animation and therefore which one I'm going to be showing you later in this video. Number 1, 3D animation. This kind of animation is what most people think of when they hear the word animation. It's what's used in feature films like Toy Story, Moana, TV programs, video games. Now the way that the animator will create these characters is through the use of character rigs. These are basically 3D puppets which allow the animator to move around and adjust the figure as they please to fit the narrative. This kind of animation really gives the animators that are working on the project a lot of creative freedom, so this is why most feature films do use this type of animation as their main form. Number 2, motion graphics. There are many different types of purposes for this kind of animation, the main one being for advertisement. One of my favourite adverts that uses this type of animation is the Wonderful Tools ad by Apple. I will link it down below if you want to go and watch it. Would highly recommend. It's an amazing advert. Now this advert uses 2D animation graphics that were most likely created on After Effects or a similar program. Something that I really like about this advert is that it really uses the principles of animation to a high standard, which makes the animation and the advert as a whole look so seamless and slick, which is the same as all Apple adverts. Number 3, 2D vector animation. Recently there have been new ways to create these characters with 2D character rigs. So you remember from earlier I said that the 3D animation uses 3D character rigs, which makes it a lot easier and a lot faster for the actual animators. This, as I said earlier, allows the animator to have much more creative freedom and also just allows a lot more movement and manipulation within the actual animation. So the difference between 2D animation and 3D animation is that in 2D animation the characters are two-dimensional, meaning the animation only compromises of height and width. In 3D animation, depth is incorporated too, which is why 3D animations are more realistic. Number 4, hand-drawn animation. Now this is definitely one of my favourite types of animation. It is what all the old Disney films were created in and I just love it. Animators that work with this kind of animation create every single frame by hand. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It's very hard. But it means that the process takes a lot longer and usually they rely on either a very small group of animators or just one. This is why most modern animations use 3D or 2D animation, purely because it's a lot more versatile and it can be worked on by hundreds of people at one time. Number 5, stop motion animation. Now for me, this is the one that I find most enjoyable. I do love working digitally, however, I like to combine my resources together as I feel like it makes the animation look a lot more realistic and therefore is a lot more enjoyable to the audience. There are so many different types of stop motion animation, from the use of puppets to claymation, Lego animations and pixelation, so I won't be going into too much detail here, but you're welcome to Google it if you're more interested in learning about that. The type of stop motion animation that I use is cutout animation. However, instead of animating a character, I instead animate letters and words to create a lyric video. To illustrate this visually to you, here is how I create a lyric video. So before you even create a lyric video, you need to plan it. This means colour schemes, events, splitting the narrative, and sometimes even story planning. My first stage of planning is finding the lyrics to the song that I'll be animating. I've chosen a copyright-free one for this video, so we don't get copyrighted. I then will copy and paste the lyrics into the document and print them out. This is the ideas development stage. I go through the lyrics and let my creativity run free. I annotate with any visions that I have, and when I finish that, I move on to the next stage, which is storyboarding the idea. To do this, I import the lyrics into Procreate and next to them draw up a rough sequence of events in the form of storyboards. This allows me to put my thoughts into a more visual format as I work better that way, and therefore I'm able to move directly into production. Due to what's going on in the world right now, I do have limited resources in terms of creating a lyric video. Usually I will go out and buy backgrounds or anything that I feel like will fit with the actual lyric video, but instead I'm using what I have right here in my house. You don't need a fancy studio or really expensive equipment to make something amazing with animation. You just need a camera, a good idea, and a creative vision. Something I haven't yet mentioned is the importance of lighting within stop motion animation. Natural light is constantly changing, and due to the fact that the animation will be made up of still images, using natural light really isn't an option here. So just use the best you can. A desk lamp will work just fine. To create a lyric video, you need sequences and transitions, so think this through before you take the first shot. Also, the main piece of advice I would give for animation is to take more photos than you think will be needed. Trust me. And now we make it to the production stage. So I'm going to hand you over to voiceover Laur, who's going to take you through the process of production. Obviously, this completely varies on what you're actually doing. If you're doing it more digitally, then your process might be slightly different from mine. I am mixing digital and practical work, so just keep that in mind. Everybody's process is different, and try to experiment as much as you can. Anyway, over to you, voiceover Laur. Hello, so when you first enter production, the first thing you need to do is gather your resources together, whether this is backgrounds, foregrounds, cutout letters, or Scrabble pieces. I find that mixing up the style between the verse and the chorus works really well, so make sure to save an important texture for the chorus as it will really enhance the animation. Next, I set up my equipment. I have lights and a camera purely because this is my career path, but if you don't have this equipment, as I said earlier, just make use of what you do have. With my animations, I usually try to photograph backgrounds and foregrounds separately. To do this, I use a large green piece of card that I place the lyrics on. This can be keyed out in post-production so that it can be laid straight onto the backgrounds. With the backgrounds, I just photograph them as they are, and sometimes I'll mix different textures together. Most of the time, the backgrounds come to life in editing, so I just make this part quite simple for myself. I use different fonts and types of text to create an engaging lyric video, so as you can see on screen, I'm using many different resources here. Once you have completed the photo stage, start importing your photos into any editing software and begin stringing them together onto the timeline. I usually work with 12 frames per second, but if you're just starting, try 6 or 8. Editing really is where the magic comes alive with my animations. I absolutely adore editing, so this is the most enjoyable part for me. I play around with presets I have and adjust colours, contrasts, double up layers here and there. I also include digital elements such as text in prominent parts of the animation, for example in the chorus. In terms of tips for editing, I would say create a rough cut with all of your photos edited together exactly to the timings first. Then you can play around with transitions and colour palettes and really let your creativity shine. It's really important to have a base before you actually play around with things and adjust everything. Also, I would say the main tip is that this is meant to be fun and experimental, so please don't take it too seriously. Have fun with it, experiment, find your own style, and enjoy. If you would like to see more videos surrounding media, design, productivity and mental health, then please do check out my channel. It's just Laur Medley, my name, and it will be linked in the description box below. I will also be linking resources that I mentioned earlier in the video, and also my other animations that I've made that are complete animations. I have made 2 that are available to see online. I have a music video for one of my friends and also a Billie Eilish Bad Guy one, so I will leave that in the description if you want to go and watch them and have a look at the other work I've done. I'm currently doing the art for the posts on our Instagram, so if you want to go and see those as well, then go for it, go have a little look. I will link the Instagram down below. There are IGTVs. We're doing it all, ladies and gentlemen, and we're having so much fun, so I hope that it's helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching, and without further ado, here's part 3, the outcome.
'Cause I don't wanna be someone loving, looking dumb, but you don't care. You go on and make me feel things that I don't wanna feel, so I get scared. Every time you open up, I'm shutting down.